In today's podcast, I speak to Puddy Zwennis. Puddy was one of very few South African professional skateboarders. He was sponsored by Quicksilver and a few other brands. He was also part of a group that toured South Africa called the Hometown Heroes. Puddy has also overcome addiction and he is also a cancer survivor. In this podcast, we talk about extreme sports, skateboarding, and what drew him towards that. He also speaks about the resilience that he got from being a cancer survivor. We also go into his religious views and what a near-death experience taught him about his life. I really hope you enjoy this episode. Puddy Zwennis, welcome to Challenge to Champion, man. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for setting out some time. We had some difficulty getting to each other and dates and so on, but I really appreciate your time and you being here for this conversation. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, Larry, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, unknowingly, on your side, I've been following you for years, and social media wasn't a big thing back then, but like I told you before we started recording, me and my brother were big skateboarders in our day. And we just spoke about Hometown Heroes, which was like a tour that the South African skaters did around the country and performing at a bunch of spots.
Exactly.
And we followed that around. We saw you guys in Gateway, in Mshlanga. We saw you at Rand Easter Show. Cool. We saw you at Mainland. We saw you at a bunch of these places. And you were basically like one of the biggest parts of the skate scene in South Africa.
That's correct. Yeah. Thanks for the great introduction. Yeah, and thanks for the Hometown Hero was definitely one of the nicest and raddest tours of skateboarding, and we spoke about how big skateboarding was back then, and it was great times. Yeah.
Do you think the skateboard scene in South Africa will revive, or has it gone through a revival yet?
Look, for me, I've seen it go up and down many times. I've been skating for, I think it's going to be 30 years next year. So I've been skating for 29 years. And I've seen it come and go, you know. And in our era, when we were younger and when Boogaloos were still around, and Sidewalk Surfer, and, you know, Boogaloos actually did a lot for skating back then. People actually rebelled against them a bit, like the skaters. They didn't like Boogaloos too much, the core skaters, but Boogaloos actually did a lot for skating back in those days when I look back at it now. And yeah, I think skateboarding can make a comeback now that it's in the Olympics. I'm kind of in between about the Olympics and if it's a good thing or a bad thing for skating, but skateboarding has started in the streets, and I think that's why it will never disappear, because it will always, if it's in the Olympics or not, if it's in the public eye or not, skaters will always be skating in the streets. So it will have its waves. It will come, and I think the wave is coming again with the Olympics going on now, and people accepting skateboarding again, because our parents, like a lot of our parents, didn't like skateboarding. They saw it as a rebel sport.
It was. It was, and I think maybe the reason for that was skateboarding was like connected to standing up against the authority, maybe some illegal things, and that I don't know if that really was the international scene, because if you look at guys like Rob Dyrdek, Tony Hawk, Bob Burnquist, all of those guys, they don't really look like rebels to me. They don't look like druggies and that type of thing. They're really professional and they're serious about their sport, right?
Correct. So look, I think where the thing came in with skateboarding, that it's a rebel sport or not a like, let's say, like rugby in South Africa's got a great model. Skating started in the streets. We annoyed people because we're skating public places where we're making noise and we're grinding and sliding on benches, and so they think we're damaging the property, and we vandalizing the property, but we're actually just coming there to get our tricks done, you know.
Yeah.
And like any other sport, like with gymnastics, you work on your double backflip or whatever, and you know we go to streets and film and get tricks, you know, and that satisfaction of going out, looking for a spot, finding a spot. Now you got to look at the spot, the run up, everything, and now you got to decide what trick are you going to do. If you're going to get it, is the security guard going to chase you away? So there's a lot of factors going into it. But back to the point is that's where I think a lot of people got a bad perception about skateboarding. Is that we are damaging areas, and then obviously we had there was the guys that tagged along with graffiti.
Yes,
and I think that made a bit skating also.
Yes, that's correct.
Correct, kind of. Skateboarders and graffiti artists were moving together, which not a complete myth.
That's true.
And because a lot of artists skated as well. And then, you know, like there wasn't supervision, like when you go play cricket or rugby, there's a coach there. We were out and about. So there was a bit of a bad, but I think Tony Hawk and those guys showed that, you know, skateboarding can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to be clean and a jock, you can still skate. I'm 30% jock maybe.
Yeah, you probably did the other sports as well.
Yeah, you know, like so. So skateboarding's always been about what you make of it, and there is this culture of skating, the hardcore skateboarders, the rock and roll skateboarders, that kind of like the thrasher skateboarders.
Yeah,
they kind of put a rule book, unwritten rule book. Like I don't know if you ever remember mall grab.
Yes.
When you hold your truck, you know, then that's how we spotted guys that posers and real skaters.
Yes.
Like Mongo skating wasn't you need to push with your back leg and all such little things that started happening.
But that you know when you're in the scene.
Yes. So those guys were kind of the rebels, the thrasher guys, and I think that came over into South Africa because the Thrasher magazine was here as well, and so there's a lot of like core skaters that are weed smokers, and they are the rule breakers. So you know, so you have your different type of guys, but normally the guys that are clean and got a good business mind, they're the guys that bring skateboarding to a next level.
Yes.
And the other guys, they just keep skating going, and they don't care if it's doing well or if it's doing bad. They just keep on going their culture. And
it probably, I think the rise in South Africa was basically along with the punk scene, the punk music.
100%, yes.
Listening to Blink-182, and it's the same with rap, you know. The lyrics that they sing in that music, you get put into a bucket with those lyrics, of course.
Correct.
If you dress the way that those guys dress, you listen to that music, you talk like them, and that probably gets a bad rap because of that.
100%, yeah. And we did. A lot of skaters were punkers, and I used to love punk music, and we did mosh pits and things like that. So I definitely think skateboarding picked up the misfits.
Yes.
There's people that didn't belong.
Yes.
They like that was their place to go, and you know I think everyone needs a place. You know? It's important. So it's just we've always had a bad rap with skateboarding. It's always been not. And sometimes I'm actually glad about that as well, because it made me think differently. Because I was quite like in school, I did sport. I played rugby. I had rugby friends. Like I had like all different types of friends. But when you came to the skateboarding, there you could just be whatever you wanted to be.
Yes.
And not try and fit in.
It was encouraged.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also a crazy thing about skateboarding is you really look different at the world, because 100%. When we were in Secunda, we would go to it was a open air mall.
Okay.
With a bunch of stairs, sets, and you would just look at the world in what can I do with this? How can I skate this? How can I use this? How can I make it look cool?
Exactly.
And I don't think there's much other things that make you look at the world in such a way, because you look at everything at how can I use this? How can I work with this?
100%. Like I'm saying it all the time, 100%. But so yeah, it's like I drive around a lot of work, and when I'm driving around up north, I'm looking at handrails, stairs still. You know? Okay, I still skate a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still a. But you definitely look at the world a different way. Like it's like I forgot that quote now. The guy said about skateboarding, how we look at the world. It's quite a good quote. I'll check it now. But yeah, so like you said about the stairs, the mall you go to go skate the stairs there. What normal person will go do shopping at that mall and walk up the stairs and look at it and say, hey, this could be nice too.
This is a nice set of stairs.
Yeah. Or this handrail's perfect.
Yes.
You know, like or little gaps. How many little street gaps do you look at? Yeah.
Curbs. Maybe
curbs.
some curb is just in such an angle that you can hit it as a ramp, and it just works perfectly.
Yeah, where other people will drive on a road and it's a road, you drive on it, you know. You'll look at the road and say, hey, this road's smooth. That would be quite nice to cruise.
Good surface, yeah. And it's because you've probably ridden one that didn't work and you fell pretty bad. So now you know what the difference is.
Exactly. So I think it's definitely it changes your mind completely, and we can't say if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I can't, but it's just for me. I don't know if it's the same with you. Is we question rules as well.
Yeah,
we question authority and laws, and I think it's good to be tested. Like, because what's happening is we're becoming more people in the world, and what are they doing? They're trying to put more rules on us and control, because the amount of people are more, and you know, we need more rules and things like that. And I felt like skateboarders always tested some of the rules, you know, and we are willing to break a rule there just to see, you know, where the boundaries are.
Yeah.
So, you know, other people will just go along and say, okay, yes, okay.
Being herded.
Yeah, I will abide, you know. We like to, you know, test the waters. And I think, you know, for example, like the reason I only became quite good on a skateboard is because when kids went to school, I went to thrashers, you know, like and skated and developed my skills, you know.
Yes.
I wasn't afraid to get caught not going to school. I wasn't afraid of bad school results.
Yes.
Because I knew what I wanted to do, and that was it. At that time of my life, there was nothing else that was for me important. Well, I mean by pursuing something, you know, like other people pursue rugby or do well in school or go to college or university. Mine was to become a professional skateboarder. That was my goal, and that's what I wanted to do. And I was willing to get into trouble for it. Yeah.
Were you ever able to fund your lifestyle by skateboarding with sponsors or such a thing, or was that never really an option in South Africa?
So for me, look, when everything started, the day I decided skateboarding, there was two phases. People always say, why did you start skating? Like, what did you see? Because, for example, what was why did you start skating?
I can't perfectly remember it, but a lot of things in my life happened because I have an older brother. Okay. And that was the cool thing that it was happening, and so then you join in with that. It's
pretty much same here. I also had an older brother.
Yeah.
But we moved to, so the reason I got firstly into skateboarding is we moved to Klerksdorp. My dad had to go for work. We stayed there for 3 years, and there was a little shopping center there. In the corner, there was a little skate park, and there was a rail going over just grass, you know, so it's concrete, and then a little grass gap, and then concrete, and the rail went over the grass, and the guy did a board slide over that, and I was just like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, you know. So I was like, skateboarding, so I just started tic-tacking around my swimming pool with an old board, And then we moved back to Pretoria, and then my sister started dating a skateboarder that was pretty good. He was also in a punk band. They called him Gary Two Teeth. So he was actually in the Slash Dogs. Like it was called Slash Dog, Gary and the Slash Dog and Gary Two Teeth. Yeah, that was the band's name. So, so obviously, like you say, your older brother now. Like
Yes.
you looked up, and he was like like an older brother for me as well.
Yes.
And then I started skating more and getting the right boards, and now I had a bit of a mentor, and then my skating skills went up. And then we were skating always there at Virgin Active. It was called Half and Racket.
Yes.
Next to Thrashers.
Yes.
And they first built that that gym there, and then the parking lot was smooth with nice little ledges and stuff. So we did slappy nose slides, and that's what was our like meet together spot.
Yes.
And then after like 2 years skating there, like a kid rocked up with his rollerblades, and he said his dad's gonna open a skate park right there next to the parking lot. And we were like, yeah, like we didn't really
That's
believe.
never going to happen.
Yeah. And 2 months, 3 months later, they were busy making it level and building a park. And
it's still there.
And it's still there. It's the oldest skate park in Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And it's busy. It looks like there's a lot of people still using
going,
it.
Still going. Yeah, it's still going. And look, it needs a little bit of repairs here and there, but it's still going. I'm still blessed to have a place like that because I'm taking my kids there now.
Yes.
And then Boogaloo's organized it. Then the S Tour came to South Africa. Now the S Tour was pretty much all the skaters that was on Tony Hawk PlayStation game.
Yes.
It was Jamie Thomas, Jeff Rowley, Chad Musker, Ronnie Krieger, Bob Burnquist, and Rune Glifberg that came to South Africa. I think it's just a bit before your time because I was still quite young.
I know the names, but I don't know the tour, yeah.
And they came to Thrashers, and they just killed that skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, what? Can you do this with a skateboard? And I still remember I did a tray flip over a small little pyramid, and Jamie Thomas told me like, nice tray flip, but don't push Mongo. So that was the last day I pushed Mongo.
Then you changed.
Yeah. It was hard work, but and from that day I was like, this is what I want to be. Like Jeff Rowley, like he was my ultimate hero, and he skated with like camo, like army camo pants. I even went to go buy myself.
If you have the kit, you'll be able to do the tricks.
Yeah. I bought him, like people called me like Puddy Rowley. And and then so basically that was the goal, to become a pro skater in America. So skated through my whole school career. And then after school, I went to the UK to go try to the UK to go try and make it professional there. I got picked up there by sponsorships. I actually won the best trick contest there. Did quite well there, but I also had to work while doing working in a hotel. So, and then I broke my leg, and then I came back to South Africa, and then I wanted to go to the States afterwards, but. Kind of things fell through, and then I kind of Quicksilver phoned me up, and they gave me a call and asked if I want to start riding for them. And then from there on, I was just pretty much doing skateboarding full time in South Africa, at home, earning a salary. Like back then, I was earning about 7,000 rand a month. I was 19 years old, and that's probably about 20 years back. So
and that's a lot better than most people.
Yeah, still living with my parents. So had a car. So just living the life of skating, and then the party scene started coming into my life as well, like getting into the Blunt magazine and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I made a good career of skateboarding for at least 4 or 5 years. I earned a good salary. Made money on East Rand, like the East Rand show. Like we did demos there. We skated there for a complete 2 weeks. Did like high airs and demos, and we got paid for that. In the Hometown Euro, you get paid for going on those tours, and So I just made my money like that, and earning a salary in South Africa was me and Christy Vian from Cape Town. It was the only two skaters that were actually making money and living quite alright for a 19-year-old.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
if you told anyone I'm a skateboarder and I'm probably earning whatever you are able to earn at that age, I mean, you need to get a proper job to have earned 7,000 back then.
Correct. Yeah, I was earning more than any of my friends.
Yes.
They were all still students. Like there was some friends that went to work directly, but they weren't earning. They were earning like 2,500 a month. You know, like I was making 3 times that. You know, so I was like, this is the way. You know, like this is the life. So yeah, for me, like from I just got back from UK. The UK was also amazing. The year I was there taught me really about how tough life can be, because there you're on your own. Like
Yes.
we in South Africa, we're very blessed. Like if you come up in a family that's upper middle class or even
Yes.
middle class, you know, like your parents like pays for college. You know, you still stay with your parents for a lot of guys still stayed like 3-4 years after school, still at their parents' house, you know. So so I was like, this is I should have actually gone to the States, but you know, comfortable place is a dangerous place, but it's a good place to be, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the skating scene here in South Africa, and then it was big. Boogaloos we were doing demos all the time, so why go to the States, you know?
Yeah.
Like, then you got to like kind of start over there again, you know. So
I think a lot of people don't know, but like there was basically the whole top floor of mainland was skate shops.
yeah.
They're from the movies all the way around to the food court. There wasn't a food court back then. It was only like a mug and bean or something.
Yes,
And
yes.
all of that was skate shops.
Yeah,
It was a really big scene.
from where you walk in. It was
Yes.
it was Revolution Skate Shop on your right hand side, and then Sidewalk Surfer.
Sidewalk
And
Surfer.
you had Boogaloos, and you had all like even like the Total Sports and those places and games, and everyone was selling
Yes,
skateboards.
skateboard equipment and so on. What ended that for you? Or well, I know you're still busy with it, but what made you shift where you say, oh, well, this is not my full-time job anymore. This is a hobby.
Yeah, well, the thing that happened there was, like I said, like now you're on the Blunt magazine, and the Blunt magazine was a very popular magazine back
Yes.
then.
Yeah, we had subscriptions to it.
Yes, yeah. So now you're getting front covers on the Blunt magazine. You're featuring on Supersport. You're going on tours. You're going on radio stations. You're going on TV interviews. So now you're getting a bit that fame kicking in, and you go out, and you know there's girls giving you attention. You know, guys want to be your friend. So it's a good feeling. It gives you so much energy, and like you feel like you're the top of the world. So that world starts swallowing you in, because you wanna, you know, experience that.
It's like the rock star lifestyle.
Yes, yeah. So at a mild, bit of, you know, there's a different level, the rock stars, but you know, we had a taste of that, and
Yes.
and
And at
started-
least as big as the rock stars in South Africa. I mean, if you talk about that time, I remember a couple of bands. I think like the Finkelsteins. There were a couple of those punk bands, and I can easily put you in that same category
yeah, because
of fame.
and we were hanging out with them as well. So
Yes.
you know, you were hanging out with the famous people as well. Like even like models are giving you attention. Like I dated like a FHA model for a year or two. You know, like girls that never looked at you when you were younger. You know, like now suddenly you are in the limelight. So obviously that life swallowed me in a bit, and skateboarding wasn't that important for me anymore. It was more about the fame and the lifestyle, and you know, hanging out with the more famous people and stuff. So yeah, so that kind of crashed, and then like my skating just kind of went like I didn't improve anymore, and like then drugs also came a bit like into my life, and then my dad tuned me like, listen, you're going down the wrong road, and then like I had to get a job like and start working, and I get the taste of the real life. And then I also started realizing that skateboarding, that lifestyle can't, because in your head you believe at that moment this will last forever, this will carry on, I'll be able to skate till I'm 40, still become a professional skateboarder. You go into such a mindset where even when people tell you, hey, you're messing up, you don't want to hear, you don't want to listen. You're stubborn because you still believe that you're on the right track. And then I just started working, and then realizing I need to clean myself up. I'm gonna mess up my life, and that's kind of like where I started working, and then skateboarding. I kind of stopped skating for a while just to get work going, and then I started skateboarding again for the right reasons, for
the sport.
Yeah, and now I love it because it's it's there for me when I need to clear my head, my bit of a getaway. My kids come with me. My boy rides scooter, and the other two rides roller skates, and it's a good time to
It's bonding time.
Bonding time, yeah. So.
And of course, I can imagine you being a cool father for doing those things.
Yeah,
because a lot of fathers of young children, they don't do that. They are professional, formal.
Yeah, 100%.
Strict, wearing a suit.
100%. Like nowadays, like it was quite cool the other day. Like one of my daughter's friends, she came to me. She's like, "Well, yeah, it's cool." Yeah, right. And like a lot of parents, they always will sit there and talk to each other, and I will be busy.
Be part of it.
Playing with the kids and playing with those parents' kids. Just not. I'm skating.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing, but we're interacting while we're skating. And then I look at my boy, he does a cool trick. He's like, "Dad, look here." And he does like a cool trick on his scooter. And then I'm like, nice, And the other kids as well, they come and ask me for some advice, give them some advice. So I'm interacting with them a lot more than any other parents are interacting with their kids,
Yes.
So, so for me, I'm super happy in my life where I am now. It was a roller coaster, like I said, with the drugs. Drugs is like, that just destroys your life, like kills it. Like it's I wish I never went down that road, but then I wouldn't have maybe met my wife and have the kids I have now. So I don't think I should hammer myself too much on that, but it's something that I don't want over that part of my life,
How were you able to get out of that bad cycle where you were in?
That was hard to get out. That's one of the toughest things I had to do. I went to rehab. I've went to the AA because alcohol was the for me was
the catalyst.
Yeah, because you drink and then you hammer it and you've had too much, then you take a line of cocaine and then you can operate again. You can carry on. So it's almost like a reset almost, and so those two together, you can party from Friday through the night, Saturday night, and then Sunday you kind of you're done. But vicious life. And then I just actually I skated from Joburg to Cape Town, like that charity event where I went from Joburg, went to PE, and then to Cape Town. Was about 1,800 kilometers I did on my board. Yes. It took me about 3 months. We did it for charity SOS. So in that era, I was kind of already getting better and not drinking as much and not doing drugs. And then I skated from Joburg to Cape Town. And then I met my wife in Stellenbosch, Nicola. I met her there. And I carried on to Cape Town. And then when we finished the tour, I stayed another week, 2 weeks after Cape Town. I stayed there, and then I partied again. And then I started doing a bit of drugs there in Cape Town again. And then when I came back, me and Nicola, we met up, my wife, and she kind of helped me like realize I'm messing up my life. That's when I went to rehab. That's when I started going to the AA. But then I stopped drinking for a year and not doing anything, clean, work and good. And then when my daughter was born, I was like, now I'm a dad. Now I need to get my stuff together. And yeah, I just kind of just push through. Because what happens is when you fail, when you relapse or when you drink again, a lot of people that love you, I know they don't understand what you're going through. They write you off. So I was very alone, like at that stage. No one really wanted to do anything with me. Like I was labeled as a bad apple, and so yeah, you just realize that you need to do something about it. You need to, and when you fail, then people say, "Oh, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it." And I've always been that person that I'll show you. I'll make it. I'll make it. It's sometimes people don't want you to make it. I don't know. Like there is sometimes it's strange. Like they wanna when you're down there, they wanna kick you.
Or they wanna say, "I told you so."
Yeah. And then there's people that care about you and want you to come, like get up and go. But yeah, so I just decided that's not the person I am. Unfortunately, I was like introduced to drugs like through one of my great friends, and he said to me it's not that bad. So I was kind of like, tried it once, but when you first go down that road, like just trying it once it's already too late. Yeah. So, but yeah, now I'm happy where I am, and yeah, it's been a tough journey like through that, but I think it's love that gets you through things
I
like
believe in that as well.
Yeah.
And I think being through it and being able to have conquered it is probably better than not having gone through it. I think the experience and the knowledge that you gain through going through such difficulties, it creates the person that you are.
100%.
And also just being able to understand other people better and understanding their situations better because you've been through difficulty.
That's
it's a massive advantage.
What you said there, that's what it is. It's I see myself connecting more with people than other people, because some people just live the right life and they've made the right decisions, did well at school, went to university, did well in university, got a great job, house is in order. Like there is those people that, and I admire them for it, like it's great discipline. Like I'm working to get there. You know? But they don't know those struggles that the other people's gone through, and they cannot relate with the people going through suffering, the people that's maybe living on the streets, or people that just never had that person to guide them like they had, or so
it's difficult to empathize.
Yes, you just think that person is a low-life bum and he's just a bad person. But if you sit down and you listen to that person and he tells you how he ended up there, like I was a good kid. I wasn't bad behaved. Yeah, I made my like everyone, like were naughty and things like that. But it's just your road sometimes just ends up going through a bit of a dark valley, and that's where you learn. That's where you learn really. And so I relate with a lot of people. I don't judge people like because of what I went through, because I was judged when I was down there and I was alone and no one wanted to do anything with me, like, and I know that feeling. Like, if it wasn't for my wife and my mom and my dad, like, I probably would have ended my life. At like some stages. And
I can assume that you see that in other people as well, and you know that maybe a bit of kindness will change this guy's whole feeling about the world today. If I give him a bit of kindness because I know what he's going through.
That's it. That love or acknowledgement, So going from there, having all the fame, having all the attention, to being lying on a couch by yourself, alone in the house, no one wants to talk to you, is is quite a different life. You know.
Difficult thing to go
Difficult,
through.
Yeah. So,
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And love is, if just one person loves you, you can get through something. It's when no one loves you. Oh, maybe you can love yourself. You know, that can help you as well. But yeah, I think love.
But it's difficult to do in that situation.
Because no one else. You feel like
Yeah.
no one else likes you. So why should you like
Yeah,
yourself?
maybe
you know?
they are right by not loving you.
Exactly, and maybe you must just end it so that you stop being a burden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, I think about it a lot, the hero's journey. That is what most popular movies or good movies are based on. You don't get a good movie where the actor in the movie just has this solid life and everything goes well.
Exactly.
It has to go through the valley and everyone's rooting for him. Yes, I know this movie's going to end well, so I'm going to stick in there. And then you see the guy get out of this hole and make it a success. That is the best stories.
Yeah, it's
mean,
like
there's-
a fallen hero almost.
Yes,
yeah.
that's precisely it. And I think that has so much value and that inspires. I mean, you being a successful entrepreneur, businessman, still being active, being an athlete, that is the success story. You going through all of those things. And that is not the full story. I mean, you went through some health issues recently. Well, a couple of years back.
Yes,
and
yeah.
tell me a little bit about that. You had cancer, and how was that like going through that? And how do you think that changed you?
Well, yeah. So that was about 5 years ago, and I just felt a bit of a lump on my testicle, and wasn't too concerned. And then later on, it became a bit bigger, and then it started, the pain started getting involved. And I just told my wife about it, and she said, to me, I must go check it out. And I went to the doctor, and he took a scan of my testicle, and he said, yeah, you've got this. Well, he said it looks like there's cancer on it, but he only uses like a little sonar thing. So I had to go to for another scan, an MRI scan, I think.
Yeah.
Just to get, and they did some blood tests and stuff. And then, like a couple of days later, they gave me a call and said, listen, it's cancer. You've got cancer on your. They just need to do now a test to see what type of cancer it is. But obviously, they can only do the test when they actually
When
take
they
it.
they have to
sample.
operate.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So my parents and everyone in my family got the news, and they all like, it was quite a different reaction. I've never like had a reaction like that with my family when I've told a bit of like bad news. It was kind of unclear, and then your mind, it's funny, like your mind suddenly goes to, because with cancer, it can go this way, it can go that way. Like there's only almost only two ways, And I was thinking about what happens if like this becomes a serious thing, and I've got to go through this through chemo and what happens if the cancer kills me,
Yeah.
So your mind completely switched differently of what is important now. It's funny how you've got this whole goal, and you've got these plans, and you've got this, like we all like to put a lot of goals and what we want to achieve in life and manifest and all of that. And suddenly when you get news like that just doesn't matter anymore. Like it's to get through this. So they wanted to do it quickly. So I think it was like a week. I went in to the doctors, to the hospital to get operated, to cut it out. But the whole testis, that's a nice thing about testicular cancer. It's you can cut off the whole organ. It's not an organ, but the whole testis. Where with a liver or a lung, you can only cut out a little piece.
And then it spreads.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So went in for the operation, and then got it cut out. and then they did the testing, and luckily it wasn't as aggressive as the like
As it could be.
could be, and then it didn't move up into the pipe of the testis. So pretty much the doctor told me, listen, the reason why I'm giving you these options is because we could remove the whole testis. It doesn't seem like it went up to the pipe. Is a 5-year plan where every 3 months I must go to for a blood test, and then an MRI scan every 6 months for the first year, and then it gets less and less till 5 years. You only go once a year. So now I only go once a year. But luckily for me, I'm very fortunate in that situation where I didn't.
You didn't
I had to go through chemo, or it didn't spread, and I'm still clean till today. So I'm very blessed. So for me, like I didn't go through like with my other friend that also had testicular cancer. He had to go through chemo. He lost his hair. He lost weight. He went through like a tough time, So I'm super blessed on that. But just that beforehand, that unknown was scary. So I can imagine what you got to go through when you actually realize, okay, I'm in this now. So
this is going to be a long battle.
Yeah. So for me, to be honest, like when it comes to cancer, I went through 1% of the difficulties that other people go through with cancer. So I was super blessed with that. But it's crazy. Well, the only thing like I have to say after that, I realized also like got to look at look after yourself, eat healthy, because then you do a lot of research on why did this end up,
and of course could it happen again?
Could it happen again?
I mean, it came from nothing, and if you're sitting with nothing now, it can come from nothing again. So what must I do? What is available to my hands to not have it happen again?
Exactly. And then you start doing research, and then you pick up on how bad the food is we're eating, because we come from a generation where everything came in a box.
Yes.
Cereal, processed meat, and then you realize how dangerous processed meat is. I don't eat processed meat at all.
And it was sold as the healthy option.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like even like smoking was, doctors actually back in the day they
it's good for you.
Prescription for packet of Camel or whatever. So I just started doing research, and I have to say, I'm not, I can't go and say I'm a like a proper cancer victim, or cancer patient, but like I have to say it completely changed my life of healthiness, and because you said never, like I said never thought that I'll be the guy that get cancer. You never think it's going to be you until it happens.
Yeah, that's the thing with any tragedy that happens. I never thought it would be me. I thought I was invincible.
Correct.
I thought I can do just what I want. Nothing has ever happened to me. I've lived a dangerous life. I've loved dangerous sports my whole life. And you just don't see why it would be you, because nothing has ever happened before. Why would it happen now?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's not true. No. I mean, it could happen to anyone.
Exactly. And, it happens so quick.
Yeah, it's literally one day you're fine, the next day you're not.
Yes.
And then you need to adapt. But how has going through that changed your outlook on life? And maybe just the fact that you came closer to knowing that you're going to die. It literally became an option. Listen, I might be dying. I'm busy dying.
Yeah.
And I think just having that brought up really close to you, it changes how you do things.
No, definitely.
It changes how you interact. It changes how you love, how you're in relationships to your parents, relationships to your wife, to your kids. And I want to know how do you think about that? How has that changed your actions?
Yeah, so for me, the strangest thing is, and I still think about it, is when I found out I had it, and I didn't know what's gonna happen yet. It's funny that I kind of like started drinking again, like, and I kind of went almost a bit careless first, and like,
I think this is basically what my life's gonna be.
yeah.
So let's
And I had a bit of a bad attitude. Like, I don't know why. Like, I had a bit of a careless attitude in the beginning. You know, because it still was a while. Also, when I found out, like, so it's probably about a 3-week gap of, I didn't know what exactly is going to happen. And then I kind of like went through like a careless, don't care anymore kind of attitude.
But it is probably a coping mechanism, you know.
Maybe, yeah. Like, I still think about why was I that way? Because you know, it was, you know, maybe I've got some internal issues I still got to deal with back then, you know. But and then afterwards, everything kind of came back, and I appreciated life more. My mom was like, she was like, it's different. Like, she was so supportive, and like, you know, it's crazy like how your mom is always like, you know, she'll love you till the day you know she dies. And yeah, but to be honest, like, for me, it was more focused on what I'm gonna like live a healthy life afterwards, and mentally, like, for me, it was just, I kind of went through a bad stage again and started drinking again, and then realizing that I'm not 100%, my mind's not 100% in the right place anymore, you know. So probably I would say just becoming a better person, because you realize life is much more valuable and it can be taken away very quickly. Yeah, so yeah, I would say that pretty much. That's
I also thought when going through difficulties, seeing your family basically saying that they would do anything, they would help in any way, just seeing how many people care.
Yes.
Literally changed a lot of the ways that I interact or try to interact with people, because knowing how much they care has definitely changed how I feel about other people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, not even close people, friends. I had so many friends help financially, help with everything, emotionally, just still phoning me every day. And, you know, that really made a shift in my brain after my accident.
Definitely.
And I also had it was quite a traumatic accident. I was close to dying. Very close. I was in the ICU for like 2 weeks. Punctured lung, collarbone, chest bone, ribs, 3 vertebrae.
Wow.
So I also thought, you know, I might die from this. I might die. And then you when you know you're not going to die from that, you get a different outlook.
Yeah.
And it feels like a different life starting before the accident, after the accident. You think, listen, would I have been happy with the life that I've lived previously? Or should I maybe do something with this second chance? Maybe I should adapt and try a few things to do them differently.
Correct.
So that I can maybe lie on my deathbed one day and be happy. You know, think I've really lived a good one.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, it's like, for me now, like, just talking to you about it now and just kind of going through that, reliving that. At the end of the day, it's pretty much the people that's around you, you know, the love you get about people. Sometimes people support you more. Sometimes people support you less. You know, depends on the situation. But then you realize, like, how important your parents are. Like, for me, like, that's when I had cancer. Like, I really like my parents and my brother, my sister, and my wife, and my close friends. You know, like, then you realize that is actually, if you die one day and no one loved you, like, it's gonna be pretty sad. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's pretty much at the end of the day what it's all about. It's, we all got these goals and all, but who are you going to share it with? Who are you going to share your success with? Who are you going to share your hardship with? Who are you going to, if there's no one to share it with, it's kind of pointless almost, if you want to say it that way.
I totally agree with that. And that is with everything, even just with doing sports, with doing anything. It's about the people that you are doing it with.
Yeah, because in the life, I've changed my mindset a bit about the world we're living in now, with all the technology and the vehicles and all these things we want. Everything is pretty. I was against it a bit, but then I realized, okay, if you have that mindset, you're not gonna want to work for money, and it's gonna be hard. So you have to change that mindset. But I feel like in times like that, because my dad did quite well for himself as well. So you always had that thing of feeling that he loves his belongings more than he would love you, like his new car or something like that. Not all the time, but there will be times you'll feel that way. And then in these days where we're living in now, people like enjoy their houses and their cars and that we don't have time to love each other anymore. And you'll spend an hour washing your car, or an hour fixing up, or taking your phone in so it can get fixed up. You'll sit there an hour in the waiting room, but we won't sit an hour speaking to an old person, or just hearing how's it going, or just take 5 minutes chatting to a kid, or even just a colleague or a friend. Like we'll chat for 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta go.
I'm actually busy. There's
busy
things I'm chasing.
Yeah. So so in times like that, when you have cancer, or when you're going through a drug problem, then you realize the effort that the people that love you put in, and then you feel like, okay, that person loves me more than he loves his house. And that's good. Like it's a
nice feeling to get.
Feeling. Yeah. This person will take his time to come and travel all the way to the hospital and come and sit next to the bed and just to support you, So
it shows you who cares.
Yeah. And I think if we stop caring for each other, that's going to be the end of it.
Of course.
For this world. Yeah.
Are you a religious person?
I am, but for me, I was brought up as a Christian. Like I went to NG Kerk, and I believe in Jesus, and I'm a big supporter of Jesus. But in the same way, I'm a supporter of Michael Jordan. Jesus did amazing things. He changed the world. He showed kindness. But where I have a bit of a battle, and if my sister sees this, I'm gonna get a lot of flack, because my sister is a great Christian, and but for me, I feel like the only thing where I bump my head a bit is that you have to pray to Jesus to have a connection with God. I feel we all have that connection directly to God. Because before Jesus was born, you're telling me that no one had a connection with God. Okay, there was Moses, and that had a direct connection with God. But yeah, so I believe in God. I believe in our Creator. I believe we can pray to Him. We can talk to Him. I believe He loves us. I believe in Jesus. I believe in a lot of things He's done, and I think He's a great example of how to be a person. But yeah, I think as well we can, like, you also, I like to meditate and connect with God, and I don't know, really, for me it's also like, I'm not a big reader. Like, I don't like reading. I like listening to audiobooks. But when I was young, even in my 20s, I was never a good reader. I couldn't read well. And so kind of like my debate on religion is like, if you can't read, then you're not going really to heaven, because you don't really know what's how to live and, how to connect with Jesus, or if no one tells you about it, like, so.
Is that then it for you? Yeah.
But I like the community. I love
understand.
Christians community. Like I would say, like, I move along Christianity, but I don't believe, like, I don't believe step by step exactly. Like, I believe kind of like religion is your own, and you got to make it how it works for you. Like I don't believe like you believe. And no one believes.
Yeah,
like
no one's the same. Yeah,
the same,
and their
so-
experiences, and I think a lot of people are either lying or a bit hypocritical when saying the way that they believe, or and you see their actions and you see it doesn't really match up with what they are saying. But for me, it's also it's a difficult thing, especially when you've been through some difficult stuff.
Yeah.
And you ask the question, did God allow this to happen to me? Like with cancer. I mean, it appears from nowhere.
Yeah.
Is it something
And then you
that
start.
I must go through so that my connection to God can grow when going after being through it? I don't know.
And you would know is when you lying there or sitting there with uncertainty, you don't know if you're going to make this. Then you say, okay, I could die. And then you're like, where am I going after this? What's going to happen to me? And then you start asking a lot of questions, and you start reading up about religion, and I don't know how you kind of when you went through, when you start thinking about death much more often, it's a different mindset.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah.
It's a really difficult thing because, like I said, I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and a lot of people only rely on the faith. I believe because I believe, and
Yes.
you have to believe.
Yes.
And I'm a bit more practical. I want things to make a bit more sense, and I know that there is a lot of answers to a lot of questions. Just a lot of the people that I've asked don't know the answers, and they just fall back on, but you should have faith.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, that's true, but let's talk about it. Let's just
Just a bit
explain
of-
it to me more.
Bit of a debate about it.
Yeah,
Like like I said, we like to test the
The-
rules
yeah.
and also things that we are being told to do.
Of
Why
course.
should I do it? Like,
Yeah.
I hear you, and there's a whole book about it, and there's half the world believes in this religion, or or whatever it may be, or we believe we got to stop for a red light. Why? Why do you got to stop for a red light? Okay, we know there can be an accident, but so same with religion. Why do you have to believe that way? Why do you have to be? And sometimes things feels unnatural for me, and that's when I start questioning things. Like when it doesn't feel right, just to fit in, part of a community, just to sit straight and like now you're part of a by skateboarding. Did you do mall grabs? When you found out about mall grabs, did you find out about mall grabs? Did
Yes.
you know about it?
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't do it anymore, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Same with religion. Like when I tell you're not allowed to do that, that's not our way, you're going to stop doing it, and but is it the right thing? Like who cares about mall grab? Like, who cares about the way you do things at the end of the day? Like, I think just like God is a God of love and energy and we can feel it in our gut. Like sometimes we don't have to talk about it. We just know there's something guiding us, And I think that shouldn't always be put in a book. Why do we always have to put things in a book and make it in a form? Sometimes things don't have to have form. Sometimes things don't have to make sense. That's why we don't know really 100% where we're going. Like we explain it as heaven, but Jesus said he went to heaven and he came back, but it's questionable.
Yeah, and there's
it's-
even
it's-
between religious people, there's a lot of different thoughts about what that is. A lot of people believe that Earth is heaven, and Earth is going to change to heaven. And there's a lot of debate about that. And that's why I'm saying it's also, you will get shunned if you don't agree with the one or agree with the other.
Yeah, it's almost like you're a dumbass.
You shouldn't ask.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
like,
ask,
how would you?
why do you see this? Or can you explain to me what you see? What were your thoughts when you thought that you might die from this? You might die from cancer. Did that change anything? Did it want to make you believe more?
In the beginning, yes. Yes, definitely. When we didn't have the answers yet, like especially that first 3 days, that was like, you know, because everyone else also kind of makes it like, you know,
Yeah,
cancer in the unknown, like people that don't know about cancer think you only have one cancer, pretty much, you know, like this cancer. But there's different types of variants,
of course.
You know? And so
it's the same with spinal cord injuries. Everyone thinks spinal cord injury is you break your back and you can't walk.
Yes, exactly.
But there's a bunch of nuances to it.
Correct.
Different things that
different
I
ways
can do.
To approach, different
Yes.
ways what's going to happen,
Yes.
different treatments, different
Yes.
Different aggressiveness to the cancer.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
how aggressive is it? So. When I was like, because you go think it's like, what happens if this is serious and I'm gonna die? You know, I can't really remember like what my feeling was about death, but I was okay with like if I die, like it doesn't really matter. Like I don't know. Like
Did you have peace?
I had peace. Yeah, I had peace at this stage, and for me, you feel like everything will be okay. You know, I think now I'm less fear. I've got less fear for death. Like
Same with me.
I accept it's part of life and it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and it's okay. It's gonna happen, and as long as I just try to be the best person I can be, my knowledge of being the best, your being the best, and my being the best. It's not the same,
yes.
You know. So if I'm happy with who I am, everything will be fine. And you know, I still believe in treat people with respect, love people. You know, like I think the 10 Commandments is a great guideline.
Yeah,
you know?
it's great principles.
Yeah, great principle. Yeah.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah,
he
I love
says
Jordan Peterson.
when I listened to an interview with Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan told him, do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe in Christ? Do you believe in God? And I mean, he does lectures. He's written multiple books about the Bible, about being Christian. But he doesn't answer it in that way. He answers it by saying, I believe that if you follow those rules, it will have it will play a significant role in your life. And you will have a better life if you live as if it is true.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that is a very true statement. And I can attest to the fact in my life, I have questions, and I'm not shy to say that I have a lot of questions because I've been through a lot. But I've also seen a lot of miracles. I've seen a lot of things happen that can't be explained by just saying, well, this is the reason or that is the reason.
Yeah.
And things that shouldn't really have happened that way, but it has turned out better because it happened that way. And those things make me believe that there is something.
Yes.
But I still can't really explain what it is. And I am very skeptical when someone else thinks that they can explain precisely what it is, because I know that they don't know. Yeah, and even just being honest about it, say, listen, I don't know. This is what I believe. This is what my faith says. This is what my Bible says, and this is what I want to believe, but I don't know. And I'm on a search.
Yes.
And that's, I think, where I'm at this stage. I am a believer. I am Christian, but I'm on a search. I need a lot more not necessarily answers, but information. And it's a personal study through your life. And I'm trying to, I think at the end of it, I will be a lot more connected because of being curious about it and not
open-minded.
Yeah, and it's not just faith. It's yes, I want to believe these things, but how does it work? How do I implement it better? Why am I here? You know, the basic questions, and really asking it, well, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of the book? What is the purpose of the commandments? Why should we do those things? And maybe the answer is just do it.
Yeah.
But I haven't concluded that totally.
Correct. But that's the thing. Like, I think belief or religion or whatever is it's the journey. It's the journey, and we as human beings has become so intelligent that we say, okay, now we send our kids to church and they get baptized. Let's get it out the way, and now you're a Christian. Boom.
Yeah, you've been the water.
No more questions. Everything's in the book.
You're Christian now.
You're Christian now. You've been baptized. Done. No more questions. Just do what I tell you to do. And we have come accustomed to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, go to school. No, but I don't really want to. You go to school, you do maths, you have to do maths, you have to do history, blah, 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 all that subjects. And that's what everyone have to learn. And that's the way it's going to be. No questions. And you're not allowed to question the teacher. She tells you that's the way it is, and that's the way it is. Your preacher tells you that's the way it is, and that's the way it is. That's the end of it. And for me, that's not the way. I want to find out myself. I want to go and experience it myself. And I think religion is actually experience. It's not all just put in front of you and that's the way it is. Yeah. You cannot. It's we like to simplify everything. We like to have an answer for everything. But we're never going to have the answer of who is God, what is God, how God thinks, how he works. We're not going to get that one. That one's not in a book. And I think that's the problem. We want to have the answers for everything. And what happens if we just don't have the answers for everything? It's okay. You don't have to have the answers for everything. And you know, and I think it's a journey, but there is guidelines. And I like, for example,
and they will be beneficial if you use them.
Yes, maybe to get there quicker or something. So I also don't want to say it's not true. That's a lie, because that also makes me then what's the word? Just
ignorant.
Yes. Like close-minded. So
But I've caught myself like saying a little rhyme, a prayer before every meal. But not even thinking about what you're saying. You're just saying it because that's what you were taught when you were small. You say this before you eat. And then I thought it's just such a weird thing that we do. I'm just saying this prayer before I eat. Okay, what were you saying? And why are you saying that? I'm blessing my food. Okay, well now you ate something that you didn't bless. Is that now a problem? Or maybe you ate a snack and you didn't say that prayer. Is that now going to cause you some harm, maybe, because you didn't say that prayer?
Yeah, exactly.
Or is your relationship with God not good enough that he's still blessing your food, what you're eating? Or should you maybe just think about what you're saying and it's not this rehearsed prayer every time? Exactly. You know, it's just a little bit hypocritical to me sometimes. And I don't want to just judge it as being hypocritical. I want to take that thought further and say, okay, well, I don't think that's the way I should do it, but maybe there is a way that I should do it. And what is that way? What does make sense to me?
Yeah.
And I think just being thoughtful about these things helps. And probably you'll understand things better and you'll know why you do things more. And then it will have a benefit in your life.
Correct.
But just doing it for the sake of doing it because it's this habit.
Because you're taught to do it
yes.
or something. Yeah.
I don't think that's a good way. And A lot of people might argue me on that one, but it is just my experience, and I think doing things mindfully and thinking about why you're doing things will definitely benefit you going forward.
Correct, because now you kind of, there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
For example, like I pray every night when me and my 3 kids and my wife sit down around the table. I pray, you know, and I say thank you for what I have. And
Is it a rehearsed?
no, it's not. No, like it used to be. Now I don't do a rehearse. I even say thank you to what happened on the day, like what my kids happened to them, something good that happened for them in the day. So I try to focus my prayers on actual what happened today or what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Is someone sick?
Yeah.
Does one of my children need prayer?
Yes, and I say thank you to, like, you know, like specific things, and it definitely helps. It definitely helps because firstly you are grateful, like you are acknowledging to God that you are grateful for your life. I say thank you to for what happened to me on that day as well, or what happened to me yesterday, or what's, you know, so you almost just not saying that routine prayer. You can't say the routine prayer because you're focusing on what's happening. And talking about miracles, like, to be honest, lately since I've been like praying a lot more intense, more purposely, like even like I flew to Belita for a bowl contest there. Simple things like I knew my suitcase is going to come out like in the first 3, and it was the 3rd one. We went to George now with my kids, and last day on the way to the airport, we just quickly went to the beach. We had a bit of a race on the beach, and my phone fell out of my pocket, and we went backpacking, and then I only realized my phone's gone. I said to the kids, now you got to pray for, because my wife was not happy because the plane tickets was on the phone. Like I pay with my phone, everything's on my phone, and the kids prayed, and I went to one spot where they were like playing in the sand, and I thought maybe I was playing with them there, maybe my phone went there, so I looked there in the sand, and we probably walked about 5Ks down the beach, and I was like running, because we were running out of time, and I was running down the beach like looking for my phone, and normally I knew I would stop like a K, maybe 2Ks, I would stop and say like, it's gone. And something just told me to carry on, and I probably ran for like 3Ks, and my phone was lying in the middle of the beach right there. A wave already went over it. Yes. But it was there and it was fine, and it's still working. I still need to get a new cover now. The water's made it a bit. But yeah, like things like that. So, you know, the kids prayed, and when I ran up, like my boy like screamed like, "Dankie Jesus," you know, and he still believes in Jesus and like the way we were, and it's there must be something about it, like, you know.
But I have to say, like what you said earlier, I think you're just really honest, and that is missing in a lot of people, because you are not afraid to say, listen, I don't know, but you still say that you pray and you do it in this way, and that is what you pray for, and this is how you think about it. So what I will say is you are probably more religious than most people, but you just don't classify it in that way, and I think that is even better, because you're not identifying as a Christian, you're just doing the right things.
Yeah, and like you, we're trying to find out, we're trying to get more information.
Yeah.
It's like it's a journey, you know. Yeah. It's like, for example, when you learn a new trick, it's struggles. It's, you know, skateboarding, how long it takes to do a kickflip, and then you land your first kickflip. Now you're happy, but now you want to do it better. Yeah. You know, so it's a complete. And if you do a kickflip in the first go, boom, you stand on a board, you do the kickflip. Are you really going to appreciate it that much? You're not going to appreciate it. Like, it took
you have to work for it.
It took you 10 minutes to land a kickflip. Now it's like, okay, now you're going to carry on. You're not going to pursue it anymore. I still work on my kickflips every day. I try to do at least 30 kickflips a week, not less than 30 kickflips a week. If I don't, I lose my kickflips, you know? And that's the same with, I think, with religion. Like you can't just say, okay, cool, I'm a Christian, done.
I've checked it off.
I'm done. Now, what's next?
I have my one rehearsed
I'm going to
prayer.
heaven. I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think a lot of people don't see it in that way. And I think they're missing out on what it can be.
Yeah.
And I think the pursuit of it is really important.
Correct. Yeah, because like you said, I also believe in miracles. And I believe also in people that's changed the world, and because I think God is closer to those people. God was closer with Jesus, because not any other person in the world has made an impact like him, and I mean, in a good way. There's a lot of guys that made the world in a bad place, but in a good sense. I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan, because he's changed sport. And I think maybe God was closer with him as well. Or he's more connected, But so it's people like that, we got to be inspired by, people that's changed giving people hope, and it's not just. I think there's more people coming that's gonna bring hope into this world. And
I agree.
Yeah. So.
I agree, and with individuality and with the life experience, that will be able to relate to.
Yeah.
I think that will be really important. Puddy, this was great, man.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming, and I'm watching your Instagram videos. You're working on some new tricks and everything. I'm really jealous. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I'm busy with this 360 flip now, a challenge where I'm challenging myself to do a 360 flip down 10 stairs.
Yes, see, the video I saw, but that was like a month ago. I saw you were practicing someplace with 3 stairs with this 360 flip.
Yes, yeah. So I rolled my ankle about 2 months ago, but my ankle's fine now, so I got to get back on the challenge. But I have to tell you, this is going to be because I chose a trick that I don't do well, because backside flip was my trick. So I don't want to, because I've backside flipped 10 stairs already, and tray flip was I could do 360 flips nice on flat. I've done it over a pyramid but not really had the trick. When you have a trick and you
nailed.
So this
becomes your go-to.
Yeah, so this is going to be the goal. So, but I've realized my ankles has gotten weak. So now I'm doing a lot of ankle exercises and everything. So, but I'm definitely want to finish that challenge. Yeah.
Where can people follow your journey?
Well, on Instagram. So it's Insta _ Pud. So Instapud. No, it's Instapud _ Yeah. Or just type in Puddy Zwennis on Instagram, and then also Instagram is the main one. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming for the chat, man. I really enjoyed it.